In the mid-20th century, a mystery unfolded in the waters of the Strait of Malacca, an area known for its treacherous conditions. The story begins with an anonymous distress signal that came through on June 2, 1947. The message was brief but chilling. All officers, including captain, are dead, lying in chartroom and bridge, possibly whole crew dead. It was signed by an unidentified ship, the SS Ourang Medan. The signal was picked up by multiple ships in the area, but when rescuers arrived, they found the Ourang Medan adrift and lifeless. The ship was an eerie sight. Despite the ship's apparently intact condition, there were no signs of violence or struggle. However, the real horror lay within. When the rescuers boarded the vessel, they were greeted by a ghastly scene. The crew was discovered sprawled out on the deck and throughout the ship. Their faces were frozen in expressions of sheer terror, their eyes wide open, and their mouths gaping as if they had died in the midst of a horrific scream. The cause of death was a complete mystery. There were no visible injuries, no poison, and no evidence of a struggle. The ship's log was missing, and the radio equipment had been tampered with. The only clue was a strange, acrid smell that seemed to permeate the vessel. As rescuers worked to understand what had happened, a fire broke out on the ship. The flames spread rapidly, and despite efforts to control them, the Ourang Medan was consumed by the blaze and eventually sank into the depths of the sea. Over the years, numerous theories have been proposed to explain the mysterious deaths. Some suggest that a secret cargo, possibly chemicals or even wartime biological agents, could have caused the crew's deaths and the ship's subsequent fire. Others speculate about paranormal explanations, given the bizarre and horrific circumstances of their deaths. Despite investigations, no definitive explanation has ever been found. The story of the SS Ourang Medan remains one of the most perplexing maritime mysteries, a ghostly enigma lost to the depths of the ocean, leaving behind nothing but chilling accounts and the lingering question of what truly happened on that ill-fated voyage. As the wreck of the Ourang Medan sank into the murky depths of the Strait of Malacca, the mystery of its fate seemed to fade into obscurity. Yet the story didn't end there. In the months following the ship's disappearance, rumors began circulating among maritime circles. Tales of the ship's haunting appearance and the unsettling circumstances of the crew's deaths started to spread, sparking both intrigue and fear. Some sailors claimed to have seen the ghostly outline of the Ourang Medan drifting silently in the fog, its lights flickering ominously before vanishing without a trace. A year after the ship's disappearance, a fisherman working in the same waters reported an unsettling encounter. He claimed to have seen a spectral figure floating near the surface of the sea. The figure was described as resembling a sailor, dressed in old-fashioned maritime attire, but with a haunting, pallid face frozen in a look of pure terror. The fisherman was so shaken by the encounter that he abandoned his fishing career and refused to speak about it further, aside from brief, terrified mentions to those who would listen. In 1952, an unusual event added to the ship's legend. A maritime research vessel, conducting an exploratory mission in the area where the Ourang Medan had gone down, experienced a series of inexplicable malfunctions. Instruments went haywire, crew members reported hearing strange noises at night, and several claimed to see shadowy figures moving around the ship. Despite rigorous checks, no technical faults could be identified, and the disturbances were dismissed as coincidences. Yet, the crew was left deeply unsettled, with some believing the disturbances were linked to the ghostly remnants of the Ourang Medan. Interest in the Ourang Medan story persisted among paranormal enthusiasts and amateur sleuths. In the early 1960s, a team of researchers set out to investigate the ship's last known location, using the latest sonar technology and deep-sea diving equipment. Despite extensive searches, no trace of the ship or its cargo was ever found. The team encountered nothing but the dark, oppressive silence of the ocean floor. Their findings, if any, were never publicly disclosed, adding yet another layer of mystery. The legend of the Ourang Medan continued to inspire both fear and fascination. Over time, it became a cautionary tale among seafarers, a ghost story that reminded them of the unknown and potentially dangerous forces lurking in the vast and uncharted waters of the world. In recent years, some have attempted to debunk the story, suggesting that it could have been a hoax or a misinterpretation of events. However, no concrete evidence has ever disproven the accounts, and the truth behind the deaths of the crew and the ship's sudden destruction remains as elusive as the ghostly figures reported by those who claim to have witnessed them. Today, the SS Ourang Medan remains a haunting legend of the sea, its story serving as a chilling reminder of the mysteries that lie beneath the waves and the eerie possibility that some enigmas are destined to remain unsolved, drifting forever in the shadowy depths of maritime folklore. As decades passed, the legend of the SS Ourang Medan evolved from a maritime mystery into a cultural phenomenon. The story was featured in books, documentaries, and even inspired a segment on a popular paranormal investigation show. Each retelling added new layers to the tale, blending historical facts with speculative fiction, but the core of the story remained unchanged. A ghost ship, its crew dead under inexplicable circumstances, and an eerie disappearance. In the early 1970s, a renowned paranormal investigator named Dr. Evelyn Carter decided to delve into the mystery with a new approach. Armed with state-of-the-art technology for her time, including electromagnetic field detectors and infrared cameras, Dr. Carter sought to uncover any residual energy or anomalies related to the Ourang Medan. Dr. Carter and her team conducted their investigations in the region where the ship had disappeared. They used underwater sonar to map out the seabed and, to their astonishment, discovered what appeared to be an anomaly, a large rectangular object buried beneath the silt. The shape and size matched the dimensions of a shipwreck, but there were no records of it being documented before. With deep-sea diving equipment, Dr. Carter and her team attempted to explore the site. However, their initial dives yielded nothing but unsettling experiences. Divers reported feeling as though they were being watched, and some equipment inexplicably malfunctioned. The team's leader, Dr. Carter herself, experienced a disturbing vision while underwater. A shadowy figure that seemed to loom near the wreck, disappearing just as she reached out to it. These occurrences were captured on film, further fueling the legend. Despite their attempts, Dr. Carter's team could not retrieve any conclusive evidence from the site. They were forced to abandon their investigation when an unexpected and violent storm forced them to evacuate. The wreck, if it was indeed the Ourang Medan, remained shrouded in mystery, hidden once more beneath the ocean's surface. As the 1980s and 1990s rolled in, technological advances continued to breathe new life into the mystery. The rise of underwater drones and high-resolution sonar mapping technology reignited interest in locating the wreck of the Ourang Medan. A private exploration company funded by enthusiasts and skeptics alike attempted several high-profile expeditions. They discovered numerous wrecks in the region but found no definitive evidence that could conclusively identify any as the Ourang Medan. In the 2000s, the story took an even stranger turn. A retired naval officer, who had been involved in one of the earlier investigations, came forward with a confidential report he had kept hidden for decades. The report detailed an incident involving a secret naval experiment that supposedly went awry. According to the document, the ship had been transporting a dangerous experimental substance, which could have been a chemical or biological agent, leading to the crew's horrifying deaths. The report's authenticity was debated, but it added yet another layer of intrigue to the already enigmatic tale. As the 21st century progresses, the legend of the SS Ourang Medan continues to captivate imaginations around the world. The story has become a symbol of the unknown and the eerie possibilities that lie beneath the ocean's surface. While many theories attempt to explain the ship's fate, ranging from scientific explanations to paranormal theories, the true nature of the events remains as elusive as ever. Today, the Ourang Medan stands as a ghostly emblem of maritime folklore. It serves as a reminder of the profound mysteries that the sea can hold, the stories that can become legends, and the unsettling possibility that some questions may never be answered. For those who hear the tale, it remains a spine-chilling enigma, a haunting narrative that continues to evoke shivers and speculation, as the ghost ship drifts silently in the depths of both history and imagination. As the legend of the SS Ourang Medan continued to grow, it began to weave its way into the fabric of popular culture, inspiring not only documentaries and books but also influencing fiction and media. Yet, the deeper the story was investigated, the more it seemed to resist any clear explanation. In the early 2010s, a new development occurred that would reignite public interest in the Ourang Medan. A tech entrepreneur with a fascination for maritime mysteries funded an ambitious project to use cutting-edge underwater robotics to explore the depths where the ship was believed to have sunk. Equipped with advanced sonar, autonomous underwater vehicles, AUVs, and high-definition cameras, the team set out with renewed hope. The project, dubbed Operation Medan Mystery, aimed to penetrate the murky depths of the Strait of Malacca with technology that far surpassed anything used in previous attempts. The team meticulously mapped the area, their AUVs sending back detailed images of the ocean floor. To their surprise, they discovered an unusually large object buried under layers of sediment. The shape and dimensions were consistent with a shipwreck. The discovery prompted an international media frenzy. The team, led by Dr. Emily Clark, a marine archaeologist with a reputation for solving maritime mysteries, prepared for a deep-sea excavation. The anticipation was palpable. Could this be the elusive wreck of the Ourang Medan? The excavation began, and for weeks, the team worked tirelessly, carefully uncovering the wreck. As they reached the hull, they found it remarkably well preserved, but the state of the ship's interior was deeply unsettling. The remains of the crew were eerily similar to the descriptions from decades earlier. Their positions and expressions suggested sudden, unexplainable terror. During the exploration, an odd phenomenon was noted by the team. Instruments measuring electromagnetic fields and radiation began to show unusual spikes near the wreck. Dr. Clark and her team were cautious, but the readings were hard to dismiss. The anomalies seemed to defy conventional explanations and added another layer of intrigue. One night, while reviewing footage, the team noticed something unsettling. In one of the underwater video feeds, a ghostly figure appeared briefly, just a shadowy shape moving past the camera. The footage was analyzed and debated extensively, but no conclusive explanations could be offered. Some argued it was an artifact of the equipment, while others saw it as evidence of something more paranormal. In parallel with the exploration, Dr. Clark and her team reviewed historical records and interviewed surviving family members of those who had been involved in previous investigations. They uncovered a series of confidential military documents that hinted at classified experiments during World War II involving experimental chemicals. These documents pointed towards the possibility that the Ourang Medan had been involved in transporting these dangerous substances, which might have contributed to the crew's deaths. Despite the breakthroughs, the expedition faced a dramatic setback. Just as the team was preparing to retrieve samples and artifacts, an unexpected underwater current shifted, and the wreck became partially buried once more. The team attempted several more dives, but their efforts were hampered by worsening weather conditions and technical difficulties. As the project drew to a close, the wreck of the Ourang Medan remained partially uncovered, and many questions remained unanswered. The team packed up their equipment, leaving the site with a mix of awe and frustration. The partial excavation had provided tantalizing clues but had also deepened the mystery. The legend of the SS Ourang Medan lives on, not only in maritime folklore but also in the realm of ongoing investigation and debate. The ship's story, with its eerie circumstances and unresolved mysteries, continues to captivate the imagination of those who encounter it. Whether as a ghostly tale of the sea or a complex puzzle of historical and scientific inquiry, the SS Ourang Medan stands as a testament to the enduring allure of unsolved enigmas. The final words of the mysterious distress signal, "Possibly whole crew dead," echo in the collective memory, a chilling reminder of the unknown depths of both the ocean and human curiosity. The SS Ourang Medan remains a ghostly presence, drifting through the shadows of maritime legend and scientific speculation, a haunting enigma that refuses to fade into obscurity. As the years passed, the mystery of the SS Ourang Medan remained a topic of fascination for both maritime historians and paranormal enthusiasts. Despite numerous investigations and theories, the ship's enigmatic fate remained unresolved. However, in the late 2010s, a new chapter in the story began to unfold, blending elements of historical research, high technology, and a surprising twist. In 2017, a maritime historian named Dr. Rajiv Patel known for his work on Cold War-era naval incidents, stumbled upon a trove of declassified documents while researching another project. Among the papers was a series of cryptic reports and correspondence that seemed to reference the Ourang Medan in ways that had never been previously revealed. These documents hinted at a covert operation involving the ship during the early years of the Cold War. According to the papers, the Ourang Medan was allegedly part of a secret program to transport experimental substances between allied nations. These substances were supposedly designed for use in psychological warfare, capable of inducing extreme fear or hallucinations. The reports suggested that something had gone terribly wrong during one of these operations, leading to the tragic events aboard the ship. Dr. Patel reached out to the surviving relatives of the ship's crew, hoping to find additional clues or personal accounts that could shed light on the incident. Many of them were reluctant to speak, still haunted by the mystery, but a few shared their fragmented memories. One poignant account came from the daughter of a crew member who had been a young girl at the time of the incident. She recalled her father's haunting letters home, which mentioned something about a strange cargo and terrible visions. Motivated by these revelations, Dr. Patel organized a new expedition to the area where the Ourang Medan was believed to have sunk. This time, the mission had a dual purpose: to investigate the historical documents and to use cutting-edge technology to search for any remaining evidence of the ship's cargo. The expedition team included a mix of historians, marine archaeologists, and experts in chemical analysis. They employed state-of-the-art underwater drones, equipped with sensors designed to detect anomalies and trace chemical signatures. The team's goal was not only to locate the wreck, but also to analyze any potential residues that might remain from the ship's mysterious cargo. During their search, the team encountered several unexpected challenges. The underwater currents were stronger than anticipated, and technical malfunctions occurred with alarming frequency. Despite these setbacks, they successfully identified a large object partially buried in the seabed, consistent with the previous findings. As they began their excavation, the team discovered a series of sealed cargo holds within the wreck. Preliminary analysis of the residue found in these holds suggested the presence of chemical compounds consistent with the experimental substances described in the declassified documents. The findings were alarming and supported the theory that the crew had been exposed to a dangerous, untested agent. In addition to the chemical residues, the team recovered a set of personal items from the wreck, including a few belongings that matched descriptions from historical accounts. These items provided a poignant connection to the crew and their tragic fate. The expedition concluded with a press conference where Dr. Patel and his team presented their findings. They revealed that the evidence strongly suggested that the crew of the Ourang Medan had been exposed to a chemical agent designed to induce extreme psychological distress. This agent had likely caused the crew's deaths in the terrifying manner described in the original distress signal. The revelation brought a sense of closure to the decades-old mystery, offering a plausible explanation for the crew's deaths. However, it also raised new questions about the ethics and consequences of such secretive experiments. The story of the Ourang Medan, once shrouded in supernatural speculation, was now framed within the context of Cold War-era military experimentation. The impact of the expedition was profound. The story of the Ourang Medan was no longer just a ghostly maritime legend, but a somber reminder of the darker side of scientific experimentation. It also served as a cautionary tale about the potential human costs of secrecy and the unknown consequences of untested technologies. In the end, the SS Ourang Medan became a symbol of the intersection between fear and science, mystery and history. It stood as a testament to the power of curiosity and the quest for truth, even in the face of daunting and unsettling mysteries. The ship's story continues to resonate as a chilling example of how the unknown can both captivate and terrify, leaving an indelible mark on the annals of maritime legend. In the years following the revelations of the 2017 expedition, the story of the SS Ourang Medan reached a somber resolution. The evidence uncovered suggested that the ship had been involved in transporting experimental chemical agents designed for psychological warfare, which had tragically led to the deaths of its crew. The findings were met with a mixture of relief and horror. The explanation provided a concrete reason for the crew's horrifying demise, but it also exposed the dark side of Cold War-era military experiments. The story, once steeped in paranormal intrigue, was now understood through the lens of historical and scientific inquiry. The Ourang Medan's legacy became a poignant reminder of the human cost of secrecy and untested technology. The ship's tale, while resolved, continued to serve as a cautionary example of how the pursuit of knowledge and power can sometimes lead to tragic consequences. The enigma of the SS Ourang Medan, with its eerie blend of mystery and reality, remains a powerful testament to the complex interplay of fear, science, and history.